Weird Way Media.
Hello, twisted humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting? Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia. And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Hello, and welcome to episode 179 of your favorite podcast. Today, I have a very current, very crazy disappeared case for you. And Sierra actually put this one on our radar. That's not a word. Radar.
It is. It's just not what you mean.
And it's a little bit risky because it's so new. So I'm sure we're going to have updates in future episodes for you. Yeah. But at the same time, when it comes to a missing person, urgent is the only way to act sometimes, to get the information out there to as many people as possible. So today I will be telling you about the disappearance of Hana Kobayashi. But before we get into that, Sierra, do you have a fun fact for me?
I do, which I found on TikTok, of course, but I'm fact checking from sciencealert.com. Okay. So apparently there is recent research that says that the reason you get car sick in a car, like have that nauseous feeling, is your brain is trying to tell you two things. Your brain from your peripheral vision is telling you you're moving. Your brain from your focal vision, like if you were reading a book, for instance, which happens most often, is telling you you're staying still. So it's like, am I moving or am I staying still? And so your brain is confused. And our brains are, evolutionarily wired that when your brain realizes you are both moving and staying still, it thinks that you just ate poison and it's telling you, please throw up this poison. And that's why you're nauseous.
What?
Because evolutionarily, we didn't always have cars where we were moving really fast and also trying to stay still at the same time.
And a giant bookworm reading on the road to Cranbrook for 10 hours. Okay. It makes sense now.
So that's why you feel like you're going to throw up, because your brain is telling you, please throw up that poison.
That's hilarious.
It just poison.
So then it calms the fuck down when you put it down and look straight at the road.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, you are just moving. Never mind.
Okay, that's fine. That's hilarious. That's a fun fact that I'm definitely going to reshare because I get car sick really easily.
Yeah.
So. And my cousin TJ, whose birthday it is next weekend and the day that we're recording this, also gets horribly car and seasick. So when she comes from the island to visit me, I always feel really bad because I know she felt like shit for 2 hours.
Yeah. But. Yeah, my daughter always gets car sick and I'm like, put your phone down. She's like, that's not it. It is. I promise.
It definitely is. Have you told them this?
No, I just learned this a couple hours ago. So
well, listen, you should throw up that poison or put your phone down. One of the two.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, because today's victim is from Hawaii, I actually chose to do a few things to honor Hana in that way, in that my fun fact is from Hawaii, and so is our wine.
Nice.
My fun fact from Hawaii is that you can mail a coconut from Hawaii.
Why? Why would you do that?
Just a whole coconut, not wrapped, not boxed, just a coconut with an address on it, and it's legitimate.
You can do that with nearly anything. A basketball, you can literally write the address on the basketball. Yeah, you don't have to pack it in anything. I only know this because my dad's a mailman.
There you go. So I'm kind of obsessed with that. If any of our listeners are in Hawaii, which I don't know if you are, I want a coconut. Just send me a coconut, please. And my
You're still gonna pay postage on it, okay?
Listen, I will pay the postage for it. I just want a freaking Hawaiian coconut, okay? And mine comes from MauiAccommodations.com.
Nice.
I just thought that was funny and really random.
I listened to Reddit on Wiki recently, and they had a disgusting story from Reddit about a coconut. So
Oh,
I have no happy feelings about coconuts at the moment.
like disgusting, like bugs.
Disgusting, yes.
Oh, no,
Disgusting.
no.
Like
We already have a bug issue
chills,
in my
vomit.
office right now, and I'm not feeling it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like coconuts are bad. It was like, if you treat a coconut this way, bad things will happen. I don't want to go any further, but a guy fucked a coconut. Anyway,
Oh my God, that is not what I was expecting you to say.
listen to the episode.
I'm going to now. I mean, Reddit, I would just also like to point out if any of the hosts of Reddit on Wiki listen to this, you guys get a lot of free shout outs. You're
I
up there with
know.
Nicholas.
Well,
You
Nick has
may
been
know
on
of
their
him.
show. Maybe we
I
should
know.
have
think
him
we need to,
spread the word.
yeah, I think we need to have a collab. Putting it out there, guys. This is a formal invitation.
You know, not to give Nick another fucking shout out, but he is the reason why I listen to that show.
Oh, I love it. I'm here for it. And I'm also here for this wine. I actually wasn't able to find it, but I did find the website when I was Googling a wine from Hawaii. And I really want to find it. I bet you Sierra will be able to. So, and I get it. Hawaii is part of the US. So we are drinking a rosé today. So this rosé comes from a local estate in Maui, Hawaii, where they produce specifically what they're most famous for is pineapple wines, which is really cool.
That's pretty
Of
cool.
course, Hawaii is known for pineapple as well. But they also have grape wines as well. So that is a grape wine that is being featured here, and it is called
Ulu Pawakula.
because Alecia couldn't get that shit together.
I just
And
heard
it
her
is
say it.
a rosé. That's what it says on Google
Okay.
Pronunciate, okay? But it's a dry, complex, salmon-hued rosé with aromas of fresh strawberry, red tulips, lemon verbena, and ocean spray gently linger on the top of the glass. Flavors of tart, red berries, and ruby red grapefruit dance on your palate. This medium weight rosé is thought full, savory, and will make a great companion to bolder food pairings. And as we are recording this exactly on American Thanksgiving, that description feels appropriate.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
It does sound delicious, and it also just sounds beautiful. And as somebody who would live in Hawaii if the opportunity presented itself, I'm obsessed, and I need to find it. I will send you the winery link, because it is unclear as to where it is located and where they ship to / where they deliver to. But maybe you can, I don't know. You live in Podunk, Alabama, so probably not. That's wishful thinking. Maybe Florida, when you go to Florida.
Yeah. Florida has the good stuff.
But I hope to try it one day, certainly. But in the meantime, I am drinking a Hayal, rather, that Hayal is empty. I drank it while I was watching Sierra set up her blanket fort.
I'm in a blanket fort. My family has been sick for weeks. So I'm in my child's room instead of my room while my husband rests. Yeah, I set up a nice little blanket fort in here. This light is wonderful and also blinding me. It's a little man.
It's a little man.
Little
Yeah, it's a
astronaut
little
man.
spaceman, and I'm obsessed with it.
It's pretty cool.
I'm immediately looking for it.
Has, what is that called? Like a nebula?
Galaxy light.
Yeah, and then also the stars, and together makes this.
And it's freaking amazing. I just need to say thank you so much to our patron, our one of our oldest listeners, and let's face it, at this point, our pal Naria, for buying us drinks for her birthday, because she's a fucking gem. So her birthday on the day that we were recording this was last week. So happy belated birthday, Naria.
Happy birthday.
Cheers to you. I have zero idea how old you are, but I'm sure it is a graceful part of your life and that you are settling in nicely to the new state that you live in. And we're so happy for you.
She looked like she was about 22.
Yeah, right.
Most, like tops.
Yeah, absolute tops. I think it's the baking. Baked
Yeah.
goods. It keeps you young. But yes, we love you so much. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. We are going to get into Hannah's case, but first we are going to take a quick break to hear a promo from our friends over at A Trial by Podcast. Welcome back. So, like I said, today we are talking about a very recent case, and I just want to say for all of the haters on the internet that the day that we are recording this is Thanksgiving, so November 28th. So this comes out in a week, and any information that comes out between now and then we'll have to update you about afterwards. But
Yes.
all of that said, this is what we have as of today's date about Hannah Kobayashi. She is from Maui, Hawaii, hence all the Hawaiian talk the last couple of minutes. She is 31 years old and is an artist and photographer. She and her boyfriend had originally booked a bucket trip list trip to New York in coordination with a dream photography job that she got as well to cover a DJ in the area. She had planned this trip meticulously, hour by hour. She was very detailed about it, and she was so excited. Before the trip, Hannah and her boyfriend, though, had broken up. The trip, unfortunately, wasn't refundable, so they agreed that they would both still fly there on the dates that they had agreed, but that they would go their separate ways when they got to JFK, the airport, if anyone is not familiar with that.
JFK Airport in New York?
Yes. So on November 8th, the two flew from Maui, Hawaii to Los Angeles, California, where they were to connect on a 42-minute layover to go from LAX to New York. But Hannah never got on the second flight. She missed the connecting flight and tried for hours to find an alternative option to be able to get to New York. A ticketing agent told Hannah's family that they had spoken to her that day and that she was discussing buying a new ticket either to go back to Maui or to New York. Hannah spent the night in the airport and waited until Sunday. So on the day that she took this trip, it was Saturday. This is now Sunday. And she was trying to get another flight. But when she couldn't, she decided that she was going to go out and explore a little bit. You know, there's no sense just sitting there and dreading what has already happened. And this always makes me really nervous because every time I go and see Sierra, it's a connecting flight and anything can go wrong in that timeline, let alone 42 minutes. So it's understandable this happened, but it definitely sucks.
Yeah.
According to Hannah's family, she went to a Barnes and Noble at a local mall called The Grove around noon on that Saturday, November 9th. She asked an employee to charge her phone while she was there, and she signed up for a mailing list as well as the bookstore's book club. She's a book girl. We appreciate that. And apparently, Christina Ricci had reported doing a tarot event there, which is what had caught her eye through her social media searches. Which also say,
I would totally go to that.
yeah, Christina Ricci and a tarot event. Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
She also got food while her phone was charging, according to her bank records. That evening, she went back to LAX and called her aunt, Geraldine, who was the aunt that lived in New York, who she was going to tie in her visit on her trip. And she told her that she was still trying to get a second flight. The family confirmed sightings of Hannah at LAX the next day as well. And they saw footage of her passing by a LeBron James event on a YouTube video. And she also posted on her personal Facebook a picture of her shoes, Nike shoes, talking about the event. But on Monday, November 11th, her family members started getting weird text messages from Hannah saying, quote, "I think somebody's trying to steal my identity. I'm really scared." Another text message reportedly said, quote, "Deep hackers wiped my identity, stole all of my funds, and have had me on my mind fuck since Saturday," end quote. Another said, I got tricked pretty much into giving away all of my funds. And a follow-up for somebody that I thought that I loved. End quote. The messages were sent on November 10th and early on November 11th. But they specifically noticed that the text included words like hun, which Hannah never used. In her last messages, she had also mentioned that she was really scared, so all of this was really strange. According to her aunt, Laurie Pigeon, Anna speaks in emojis. Usually there's a heart or a flower or a fairy. That's just how she speaks, and these messages didn't have a single emoji, end quote.
So it kind of sounds like she got her phone stolen so far to me.
Yes. Her aunt also claimed that the messages were ignored when family members responded and asked Hannah, are you okay? Sierra and I talk about this all the time. When you message somebody every day, you learn their text patterns and their habits. Everyone has bad days where, yes, maybe they don't necessarily sound like themselves, or maybe they're too busy to give full and complete attention to the message. But nothing as strange or as differentiating as these ones.
Yeah, we have discussed, I had to alert her one time because my phone started doing this weird autocorrect thing where if I say LOL, it's all lowercase. And usually I do not lowercase anything when it's the start of a sentence. Okay. It's supposed to be capital. That's the way, even though LOL isn't a word, it should be capital L, lowercase OL. All right. But my phone started autocorrecting where it just did all lowercase. And I was like, hey, just so you know, it is me. I swear my phone is doing this thing. Like, don't freak out. Because I know she would know.
We are alert. And I literally said to her the other day, if your text message didn't end in a period, I'd be like, who the fuck is this? Yeah. You are an imposter.
I like grammar a lot.
Some days I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be really good. And on other days, ADHD takes over and I'm like, a butterfly. And I'm just off doing something else after I've answered it. So I don't know. But that is where her family was sending the alert bells, which makes a lot of sense. There were also 2 Venmo transfers on her account that went to names that no one in the family, rather, had recognized. And her phone had been turned off and going straight to voicemail since November 11th. Hannah's family was rightfully extremely worried and filed a missing persons report for her right away. The last place that her phone pinged was at 4 p.m. on November 11th at the LAX airport, which means that that's where her phone was turned off. There has been one more sighting of Hannah 20 miles from the LAX airport, boarding a subway system near the Crypto.com arena at around 10 p.m. on that same Monday with an unknown person. It's recently been released, maybe unintentionally, with people talking about it, that person is a male. Because people have said they've gotten aboard with him or they see this man on this thing, but they haven't actually released the CCTV footage. And there has been no sightings since then. And there's no description of the person that she's seen with as well. But everyone is worried that this may be a trafficking situation or a kidnap situation. And her aunt said that she really didn't look well in the footage, which is also really sad.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of this is incredibly strange, and her friends and family are extremely worried. Who is this person? Why did she leave the airport? Who did she send this money to? Family members learned that Hannah exited the train around the Pico station, which is one of the places that they went to look after arriving in New York City for the search. Quote, it wasn't a good neighborhood, and officers that were there and people that we spoke with were like, you don't come here after dark, end quote.
What the fuck?
The family feels that the police are not taking the case as seriously as they should, as she is a 30-year-old adult. So they have been taking to social media for help. And her story has thankfully been blowing up ever since. Hannah made a bucket list of everything that she wanted to do, so it doesn't make sense that she would have run away or simply not gone. She had spoken about how excited she was leading up to the trip, and she had plans to visit her aunt upstate to check out the vibrant art and scenic galleries, and she had a job to do while she was there. So any runaway theories, rule that out.
Yeah.
Laurie asked CNN to relay a message to her niece that says, Hannah, we love you. We are all here. Your mom's here. Your sister's here. The entire world is looking for you. Laurie is one of 13 family members who traveled from Los Angeles to track leads to find Hannah. Amid the ongoing search, the family also held a rally on Thursday, November 21st at 3:30 p.m. at the Crypto.com Arena area to hand out flyers before a Lakers game and to kind of canvass the area that she was last seen in. And they also were thinking that this would reach as many locals as possible. The last person that Hannah spoke to in the family was her Aunt Laurie's sister, the one that she was going to visit in New York. Hannah's friends have been flying in from all over as well. She's quoted as being one of the best friends you'll ever meet. She's the person that, say, 2:30 in the morning, you break up with your boyfriend and you look at your contact list and say, who can I call? You call Hannah because she picks up her phone every time. And if she doesn't pick up, she'll call you back within 5 minutes. According to CNN, though, in a recent article, the FBI is now involved in the LAPD investigation. So it looks like the pressure that the public has been putting on through social media has kind of, ramped up a little bit of fear, that and the video footage.
Also, the FBI is not allowed to just get involved.
Yeah.
So the FBI can only get involved in certain the FBI is the federal bureau. The FBI is only allowed to get involved in if this is a federal crime or problem or whatever. And it is federal because simply because it crosses state lines, in the fact that she was coming from Hawaii to California or trying to go from Hawaii to California to New York. But I honestly don't think they would normally get involved unless they had any information that she went missing in one state and maybe in another state, except for the other thing that is automatically federal is kidnapping. And that makes me worried that this is a kidnapping situation.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say that makes me worried that it's like a human trafficking, kidnapping situation.
Yeah.
And it's honestly incredibly alarming. Like, I understand the initial lead up to everything that's happened. The police being like, well, she's in another city, she's an adult, but this simple lack of communication since the 11th is incredibly scary.
Yeah.
In an even stranger and sadder turn in today's case, Hannah's father, Ryan Kobayashi, was found dead at near the LAX parking lot on November 25th. He had been in the area, having arrived from Hawaii to help search for his daughter for 11 days.
That's fucking hard.
Yeah. TikTok is currently speculating heavily on an interview with him on the KTLA where he talks about his daughter being such a beautiful person in the past tense. But this could mean nothing suspicious, and I will not drag a dead man's name through the mud like the internet is doing without any proof.
The last thing I saw said that RAD, which is the group that has been helping them in California, said that they believe his death was self-inflicted. Is there anything more to that?
Not that I was able to find.
I wonder, it's weird to me that you would give up looking for your child by ending your own life when you don't even know if her life is over yet.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, did he end his life? Or did something happen?
Yes.
Like that scares me also.
Yeah. You're on the same wavelength as me, because the internet is like, well, maybe he was involved in her disappearance and that's why he's referring
or maybe
to her
he
as
was shut up.
tense. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, This man's seems so genuine and so heartbroken. And like he was quoted as saying, everything is just a blur, it seems. I haven't slept since I've heard the news.
Yeah.
So he could have also just been incredibly stressed and tired and possibly not thinking clearly if
Yeah.
this was a self-inflicted
I'm so
situation.
curious to know how he died.
Uh
They haven't
he
said, right?
he was found at the bottom of a parking structure, so it was
I
indicated
think he
that he had
jumped.
been jumped or pushed, like
Oh
from one of those parking
my
spirally
God.
things. Did he just know as a father something in him that his daughter was gone, or was it just too much for him that he did complete suicide? I cannot even imagine the pain and the stress and the just absolute heartache of this situation for this family. And he was only 58 years old. So I believe that it was either a possible suicide or, like Sierra said, somebody is trying to get the family out of that area. Like
Yeah.
maybe they
I
know too
can't
much or have seen something, or like it doesn't make sense.
I cannot imagine being in his situation at all. But I also cannot imagine wanting to die when you don't over something like this, when you don't even know if she's gone. Like I'm
That's the
sure
weird
it's
part.
right. I'm sure it's so hard to live without her, but as of right now, we don't, she might just be lost.
Yeah.
Now she's going to come back and you're not there.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me,
Something
a
is not
suicide
adding
does not
up.
make sense. Yeah.
I agree. So I'm really hoping that more information will come out surrounding that, if any is known. But this case is just so strange and it's blown up so quickly. And it's just amazing to see how quickly and heartfelt the internet can be at times, because it's in instances like this where that's really important.
Did you see anything? This has been fucking all over. So I've just been seeing sleuths posting about it. Someone posted Hannah's most recent not Facebook, Instagram ad friend. So the person she most
Oh,
recently
no, I
friended
didn't see
on
that.
Instagram, and it was the guy's page is completely private. You can't get into it, but his profile picture looked so fucking familiar to me, and I did like a reverse image Google search and I couldn't find anything, but it looks so familiar to me and like someone who I have seen in a case recently, and I can't place my finger on it. I'm pretty sure there was a girl. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, let me know. Slash, I don't know, dig into this more. There was a girl who went missing in, I want to say it was like North Carolina or Tennessee or something. And she was last seen at like a car dealership. And she had gotten into, it was a little girl, I think. I could be wrong about that. But she had gotten into a truck with a person, and the guy took her to like Kentucky or something. And they had, I'm pretty sure she was found. He was arrested. But his picture, I'm pretty sure, is the same person, or it reminds me of similar features, the guy who is the last person who Hannah friended. All of that to say, I'm pretty sure the guy's using a fake picture. I don't think it's a real picture of whoever she friended. I think it was a fake
That's
photo.
crazy. I haven't seen that.
Also, did you see in the LA area, two girls were found with their two Jane Does were taken into the hospital after a fall from height. They found these women had just fallen from who knows where. They don't know what happened to them.
Perhaps the same height as the parking garage.
Possibly. It was it they identify sorry, Los Angeles blah, blah, blah. Los Angeles General Medical Center is seeking help identifying a patient who arrived on November 10th, 2024. arrived after a fall from height. They don't know who. There's two women. Neither of them are Hannah, but they don't know. Again, this is from November 10th. They might have figured it out by then. But at the time, they didn't know who they were or anything.
That's crazy.
Just more weirdness from that area.
Yeah, and that's like too much of a coincidence for me with
I
Hannah's
know.
dad on the 25th, because if this had happened separately, I would be like, yeah, that's just a horrific accident.
Yeah.
It's a huge city. It probably has nothing to do with it. But now I'm suspicious. I don't know. I live under the umbrella of question everything.
Right.
And like Hannah did nothing wrong. Like she was in contact with her family. She, had a planned trip down to the minute. Like this is so random and so scary.
It is.
And like obviously Hannah's boyfriend, as we know, is not a person of interest. And he did get on his connecting flight to go to New
Right.
York.
So he was gone while she was still there.
So separate seats. They had no contact during the first flight. Like he would have no way of knowing that she didn't make it onto the second flight. Just so everyone's not hating on him.
Some of the messages. Okay. So on the one hand,
Some
I'm
feel
like,
culty and some feel really like almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it doesn't even seem like it sounds like bless my brother's heart, but he's a horrible texter and he doesn't make sense most of the time. Like the first messages about like fuck this Friday mind, like I'm like, what is that? Like that's not even English.
yeah, some of them to me, it feels like she got her phone stolen and the person who stole her phone is trying to get her family to send money to the phone to send to themselves.
Yeah.
But then also some of them remind me so much of the interactions that Alecia Lamb had with herself.
Very
as we
like
later found out. Yeah, like
grandiose
schizophrenic
thinking.
type.
Yeah.
And while Hannah is 30 years old and we don't know of any mental health issues, we did just talk about how you can develop schizophrenia at age 30.
Older ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like that
But
would
if
be
that is
super
it, that
weird for
stresses
her
me
to
out too,
like,
because where the fuck is she
yeah,
while going through this mental health crisis? Like she needs help, period. Like whether she was taken or it's a mental health thing, she needs help.
Yeah, those are definitely the only two options, because it's not like she would have just run away to explore LA when she had all these plans in New York.
Yeah.
It's so unsettling though. But yes, I will post on our social media, on our website, the full text message conversation screenshots. If you guys derive anything from them, please let us know. If anything strikes you as weird. Like honestly, I feel like so many more cases are being solved by the internet before police these days, which is both a beautiful power of it, but also really scary, and why I wanted to keep this incredibly fact-based, sprinkled with our opinions, because it's also, the internet can also be damaging and pulling resources away from where they need to be. So you got to have that careful dance. But I just really wanted to talk about this case. We do have a lot of listeners in California. Don't know where in California. It's a very large state, but I mean, just if you guys are in that area, look out for her. Her picture is literally everywhere. I'm incredibly happy that it is blowing up the way that it is, and she is so beautiful, and it's just really sad. So her name is Hannah Kobayashi. She's 31. She's 5'10", 140 pounds. Go off. Just saying. I would kill for that height. In the video footage, she has on a black hoodie with a blue emblem and tie-dyed sweatpants and a green backpack. She also has clear glasses, and her hair is brown, and she has hazel to light brown eyes. She also has freckles on her face and a tattoo of a knife on her forearm. As far the time of this recording, it is November 28th. So that is all of the information that we have right now, but our hearts are with Hannah and her family, and we are hoping that The more that this case blows up, the more people that are looking for her, and the more of a chance that she'll be home with her family. Because this is incredibly scary. Her dad is either an incredibly tragic, incredibly disassociated suicide, or something more sinister, and somebody was trying to keep him quiet.
I don't even think it was a suicide. To me, there is not a single bit, like, to me, it's like 1% chance it's a suicide. And I'm not saying that it's 99% that someone killed him. I'm saying, to me, there's a more likely chance it was an accident than it was suicide. Like, he stood up there to get a better view of the city and fell, something like that.
I was like trying to put up a flyer or something outside to read. Oh, that's even sadder. I didn't even think about that.
But I just don't see
it being intentional.
As a parent, I don't see a parent wanting to die without having answers about your child. You would rather have the answers.
And that's what makes this such a strange thing to happen, like 11 days into her disappearance. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it's incredibly sad, and I can't even imagine going through this and then on top of it grieving another person in your family. So it's just, especially like during the holidays, and it's just like, I really hope she's found soon and that she's found okay, because women and kids and men get trafficked all the time, especially in airports. They're incredibly dangerous places to be. It's very California possible this was random, like completely random.
California is a hot spot for those kind of things.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't find you because I was in that underground fucking subway station, and you were instantly like, well, Kevin, hate to break it to you, but I can't get a hold of your wife.
That was terrifying.
But what else are you supposed to do in these situations? Like, it's better to overreact than to not react at all, and then days go by and I'm just dead. So like, I'm glad that Hannah's family was so attuned into who she is as a person, and that something is very wrong here. And I understand that it is an ongoing investigation and why police are maybe holding the last footage close to home, especially of the person that she was seen with. But I also wonder if they're going to release it soon, just on the off chance anyone recognizes who that is, for more leads. Right. Like, it's kind of at a weird standstill for the last 4 days.
Who was she sending money to on Venmo?
No, they don't recognize the names. Yeah.
Are the police looking into that? Because someone has that money. You can trace money. Where the fuck is it?
Yeah. And to me, like, there are no coincidences in true crime, but there also aren't like multiple horrific crimes in one instance. Like, I don't think that it's somebody random that has her phone that stole money, and then somebody random that stole her. Like, I just feel like that has to be connected as well. Like, I think whoever took her phone.
Yeah. Or
and answered her family. Phone. Oh, true. Yeah.
And someone was like, oh, a phone.
Like, they turned it off, threw it in the airport garbage can.
Yeah.
Took her and somebody else. Well, no, because the Venmo stuff and the bits about her having, like, being scared were sent like while she was still at the airport. Right? So it's like,
right, but the text messages were on the day after that, right?
The weird ones. The one about her being scared that somebody was trying to steal her identity were like in the early days that she landed.
That's weird.
Like, her saying that she's scared and that somebody's trying to take my money. And then I was tricked and it was somebody I loved. Like, they're just weird. And then she went messages.
To the event?
Yes.
See, now that makes me go back to mental health crisis.
Yeah. Well, that's what, so full transparency, guys, that's what Sierra sent me when she said this. Sent this case to me to look into. and to keep an eye on too, like the rest of the internet, is that it felt like Elisa Lam. Like it's
It
just
does.
something is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And LA is just such a big city, and there's
It
so many
is.
ways in and out of it that it's just like it can happen so fast that you're just like not there anymore. But I really admire what her family is doing and like how quickly they've acted, and that they are doing a lot of the searching themselves. So even if you don't know anything about the case and you're in the LA area and you're able to volunteer your time, that is hugely helpful as well. So and the police, the last thing I wanted to note that just came out today as well is that the family members are asking that you call 911 directly with tips, because the LAPD offices are so bogged down that they're worried about a tip about Hannah getting lost in that mix. So just contact the group directly on Facebook, which I will link in the show notes, that is looking for her, or call 911 directly.
Yeah. All right. Now we need manifestation, because the last time I felt this strongly about a case, 3 years later, it was solved. So let's do this again, and let's not let it take 3 years this time.
Yeah.
Okay? We're gonna fucking find this girl.
Are you talking about Alicia Navarro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really sad for her family. Every time I watch a video, my heart just I'm also like in a weird, sad, weepy place this week, so it's just like extra heavy, but um our hearts definitely go out to her family for sure. And please, 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 please let this, yes, manifest it positively. It will be home before Christmas. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is the current updates on this very recent case. It feels weird covering something that is still unraveling, but I think that
Right.
that's the good part about the timing of this. So that is my disappeared story. And my something happy will just be to manifest positively
Yes.
for this, because I don't have
She's
anything else
okay.
to say.
She's gonna be found.
Yeah.
She's gonna be reunited with her family. Everything is gonna be fine.
Yeah. And we love you so much. We will see you next week for Sierra's
Cult.
cult episode. Speaking of cults. And in the meantime,
Keep it twisted. Everyone be on the lookout for aliens, because apparently somebody predicted, somebody in like 2012, like long time ago, before Donald Trump was ever president the first time. What year was that? Like 2016, I think, or 20, whatever. Somebody somewhere predicted way before that Donald Trump would be on Joe Rogan's podcast, and that X amount of days later, there would be an alien invasion. The X amount of days is December 3rd. So apparently on December 3rd, we're gonna see aliens for the first time. What day does this come out?
What, Tuesday? Next Tuesday? That's your episode next week. So this one comes out on the 10th.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, hey, did you guys see aliens last week? Let us know what the fuck happened. And speaking of aliens,
well, Sierra has an interesting theory that I'm here to support. So during a recording for Sierra's episode that is coming out next week, the house that Sierra covered, the blood house allegedly, was blurred out on the internet after being posted for sale with some new renovations. So I obviously was curious and wanted to go have a look at it. And you can't see it on the street view. You can't see it in any other photos but the old photos of when the case occurred. So that got me talking to my coworker and fellow weirdo, Robin, at work. And I told her about the story that Sierra covered and that you couldn't see it on Google View. So then that took us down a rabbit hole of other infamous haunted houses, like the Amityville Horror House and the Enfield House and the Winchester Mystery House. It's like all of these houses are blurred out, specifically the ones that are privately owned now and like people still live there. So I was like, that's weird. Why does the Google machine not want us to see this? It must be haunted. And now I will read you our text message chain because it is great. Sierra's theory is epic and continue. Scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. I said I Googled a bunch of the other haunted houses in real life and they're all blurred out on Google. I don't know why. Maybe you're not allowed to snoop on haunted houses, I guess. And Sierra said, what the fuck? That's such a creepy thing. What is the little Google car capable of seeing that they don't want us to see? You know what else is blurred? Area 51 and presumed underwater base off the coast of California that the Congress are just not talking about. Coincidence? I think not. Ghosts are aliens. Aliens are ghosts. They all just are interdimensional beings. And here is the proof. Life after death means nothing. On to another dimension. Case closed.
Yes. So it's okay. It's all right to die. I mean, like, please fucking don't.
Yeah.
You have a life to live here first.
You're not taking
but
that
when
from
you're
us.
done, when your time is up, it just means you're going to live another life in another dimension. Officially.
In the meantime, you can join the cult that is this podcast now, which Sierra would like to call the School of Interdimensional Friendship.
Yes.
And I actually am
cult.
working on a t-shirt design for this exact thing because it's funny as shit to me.
Yeah.
Even if no one buys it, I need it on there.
I was going to do like church or congregation, but I was like, no, that's too bleh.
Well,
like, we need a lot of books.
That's not
We're
us.
going to be a school.
Yeah.
We're going to be a school.
I love it. I'm here for it. That is our proof. If you guys happen to be bored one day and want to Google any of the other string of haunted houses and let me know which ones are blurred and which ones are not, that would be great. The only ones that weren't blurred were ones that had happened in history, but most people believe is a hoax. So maybe there's less clicks on that, and
maybe it actually
looking into those
is
ones
a
as much.
hoax. Yeah, so they didn't have a need to blur it.
Yeah. So what do they not want us to see, guys? Even weirder, the Amityville Street, because there's two houses. There's like the address that actually happened and then the address of the house that they purchased in order to film down the street.
Yeah.
So like it's like blur, house, blur. So
both of them are blurred?
Yeah, it's extra weird. I don't know what it is. It's a trip to see, guys, online. I like to travel on Google Maps sometimes, so
I wonder if you can like pay Google to blur your house.
I
want
think
my
you
house
can,
blurred
because when I Googled why Google Maps blurs out places, it's because that there's either a privacy violation or a safety issue in some way. So I'm just like,
I want my house blurred just so people think that interdimensional beings gather here.
For sure. You contact Google and let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it's just your children's blurred faces playing in the front yard.
Unfortunately, my children were like, the Google car, and ran
They
outside
happened
and
to be
danced.
playing outside that day.
No, they were excited.
Oh, it's funny.
Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alecia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.